Oh no.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Sports Kabri. In a blockbuster move, Sunil Chhetri has decided to come out of retirement in international football as India prepare for their two matches in the March FIFA international window. So it's big news because when Sunil Chhetri decided to call it quits, there was so much made of it. Like I'm sure it was covered like everywhere, literally everywhere. Um, there's not one place where it was not discussed. But suddenly, literally, like, dude, just a few months, like after this, India have decided to call him back. The IIFF has announced that Sunil Chhetri has become a part of the uh, squad for the March window. So India playing two games. There's a friendly against Maldives, and then you've got the AFC Asian Cup qualifiers, right? It's that the final of
Bangladesh.
the of the AFC Asian Cup qualifiers. Um, we've got Bangladesh to start off, and that's one of the reasons they've got Sunil Chhetri in there. Um, Manolo Marquez has said it. He was quoted saying, when asked like why, I mean not asked, but like this is what Manolo Marquez said about Sunil Chetri's inclusion. He said, "The qualification for the Asian Cup is crucial for us, given the importance of the tournament and matches ahead. I discussed with Sunil Chhetri about making a comeback to strengthen the national team. He agreed, and so we have included him in the squad." Okay, first thoughts, Rishi. Like when you saw Sunil Chetri's return, what was it, bro? What's the feeling?
Bro, I mean, from a fan perspective, it's you'll never be, unhappy that your cult hero, your national heroes making a comeback. From an emotional perspective, obviously, it's I don't know how many more years we'll get to watch him. So the more we get to watch him, the better. But from an India squad perspective, it's damn concerning. Like if we have to if our team is so like depleted that we have to call our retired legend back, that for us to have a qualification chance, then that is just like portraying the kind of deep trouble that we're in, or the lack of quality that we have in our squad. And so from that perspective, it's very scary. But from, again, a BFC fan, a Chetri fan, of course, every time you get to watch him is one extra, like, bonus for us. So yeah, it's mixed feelings. I can't lie. It's kind of
There's no
mixed.
clarity. Like I think one of the reasons, like there's so like, bro, I don't know how to feel about it is because, okay, fine, you've called him back for because you want him to help you qualify for the Asian Cup. Fine, I understand that, but what is it like? Then there should have been some clarity saying, okay, he will be available with us until the AFC Asian Cup qualifiers are over. We'll make sure like we qualify, and then like whatever we'll see. After the third round is done, we'll see what happens. There's no clarity. Like we don't know how long Sunil Shetty is going to play. Like it's such a weird one. And before we go to Adi, Rishi, like can you just read out the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
squad just so that people have an understanding of the forward options that we have anyways.
So the squad, India's 26-member squad for March 2025 FIFA international window. Goalkeepers are Amrinder Singh, Gurmeet Singh, and Vishal Kait. I'm guessing Gurpreet is out injured. Defenders are Ashish Rai, Boris Singh, Tangjam, Sana Singh, Mehtab, Rahul Beke, Roshan Singh, uh, Sandesh Jingan, Subhashish Bose. Midfielders are Ashik Kurunian, Ayush Dev Chetri, Brandon Fernandez, Bryson Fernandez, Jeekson Singh, uh, Mavia, Liston Kaloko, Mahesh Singh Naurem, Suresh Singh Wangjam. Forwards are Sunil Chetri, Farooq Chaudhary, Irfan Yadwad, Changte, and Manveer Singh. This is our squad.
Yeah, so you just like you listed down the squad. Basically now, bro, the thing is I don't see like proper strikers there. You got Manveer Singh who's supposed to be your next like proper forward. But seen in the past, even for Mohan Bagan has been played wide. Even for the Indian national team when he was trying to play with Chetri, he was used like in a wide area, right? Like it's a weird one with Manveer and Irfan Yadwad is is probably another one like who just at the moment maybe there's just not enough experience. Like for me, like bro, I genuinely have not seen enough of him. Like if you guys, if you remember, like we have actually seen Irfan Yadav quite a bit, like in front of us, in front of our faces. He used to play in the BDFS Super Division for
Mm.
FC Bengaluru United as well. Then went to Chennai, and
Chennai.
uh, and I'm not too sure, bro. Still, like again, like about Irfan Yadav, it's not like he's lit up the league or like he's done like amazing things. Given that we don't have any other like central options, like central striking options, I don't know. I don't know. Adi, like you was you saying that like you probably wouldn't have gone back to Chetri, but there's a clear lack of like options we have already in the first place, like
No,
proper
that is a
strikers.
different thing. It's a matter of every national team needs to find solutions which is past, your history. Like the point is when you lose a player like Chetri, you don't have the quality like Chetri. The point is you have to move on and find quality. Does it come down to the national team, the federation? Does it come down to the local football clubs of the country where they're building their own players? It depends. Like, there's a point. Like, you will never find attackers like Shetri again. You have to find new attackers, new solutions. And that's how sports are. Like, we've thousands of years, bro. Like, it's not something new. Like, you go back to India, when they lost, Ganguly, they had to find a new captain. They went for something else. When they lost Sachin, they had to find another player. They went for something else. Now, when we lose Kohli, Rohit Sharma, you can't sit and call them back out of retirement, right? You need to find new solutions, and that's the point. The point is, as a country, as the federation that looks after football and wants football to grow, your main agenda should be growing talent and ensuring they get the right platform to showcase their talent. So if we are sitting here and saying there is no real talent available for India, or no talent, you know, we can recognize it just because we don't know, we've not helped or created a system where these kids, youngsters, or any player as such get the right recognition of playing. And yeah, it is what it is. Like you look at our defense, if one player is not there, we don't have to go recall a retired guy, right? We always go find another guy. So it's the same thing even with our forwards, with our midfield. Like if a guy is saying, 1 year ago that I'm going to retire from international football, it's going to be a big thing, but you have to find solutions to it. You can't sit and go back to the same thing. How many times can you do that? Now, Asian qualifiers are what, 3 into 2, which is like 6 games you have to play. And it's not everything doesn't get over in this March. You have games in October, you have games next
You
year.
have one
So,
game.
yeah. So, like, are you making him come back for the entirety? Are you not? If India qualifies, then what? Are you making him play another Asian games, the Asian Cup? Like, what's the point? Like, if it is only about qualifying, you need to qualify the right way. If you want to qualify for a tournament, but you don't know how to play the tournament, what's the point of qualifying for it? Like, if you're going to play Chetri in the qualifiers and then they qualify, and you're not going to play him in the actual tournament, what's the point of taking him in there, right? And it's also about a process. Like you don't have to have the pressure of qualifying as a country like India. I think if we were the top countries, like investing a lot of money like Saudi or Australia or Japan, and we had the highest talent out there, then there's a pressure to qualify. I think being in the Indian team where football's never been the biggest thing, at least recently, you have to learn how to have process, be patient with it, and actually push young talent. And that's the whole point. Now you're going back to Chetri. 1 year later, it's a very lazy decision because now you're going to Chetri, then 1 year later down the line, you don't have anything. He'll be 41. He'll be 41 this year itself, actually. What's the new solution you're going to find? That time you can't sit and be like, oh, now I'm clueless. I don't know what to do. It'll be too late also by then. So the point is you have to have a plan, succession plan, no matter what, and you have to be able to back it no matter what. You can't just say, you know, today we don't have any option. Let's get Chetri back. We don't know what the option is only because we've not helped the players come out. Like we have an ISL, bro. There are like 13 teams in ISL. We have an I League. There are 10 teams in the I League. Are you saying out of 23 at least top level teams for India, they're not like one extra attacker you can take and give them a chance? If you're saying there is no other attacker you can take, then I think it's a problem of India. It's not a problem of anything else. Like it just doesn't make sense to me at all.
Yeah, but just you're saying when we needed him so badly, he just refused and retired, and now when our ranks falls down and everything starts from beginning, he just came for nothing. It seems so diplomatic, isn't it? I mean, from his perspective, I don't know what else he could do. Like now, there's a striker issue. This striker issue is not a new thing in Indian football. It's a problem that's always been there. It's a problem that's been there for the last year, two, three, whatever. You leave Sunil Chhetri out of this, you don't have strikers in Indian football because every club wants to play a foreign player in that position. It's not in, and that I think to an extent, like the national team have their hands tied. Like the national team coach has his hands tied because clubs will always go to foreign strikers. Like it's a trend that we have always seen in the ISL. You will not that quality of striker when you get from abroad. Obviously, they'll go for it. Now, solution obviously I don't know. Like I don't know what the solution is. We have said so many times that yeah, like no, like you have to play Indian strikers, whatever, whatever. But the truth of the matter is this: that when it comes to it, eventually foreign strikers will always be played in that position, and you don't have the players to play. Like it's a conversation that came up even when Chetri was playing. I don't think it's Sunil Chetri thing. That's the whole point. Like this conversation, same conversation has come up before also because we're like, okay, Sunil Chetri has to retire. He's going to retire. He's going to retire. Who's the next striker?
Bro,
The
like
con-
we
it was
don't
always
I don't
the
think this season in ISL we've had any other Indian top like scorer in the top 10. I think Chetri is the only Indian
bro. We have no
scorer in the top
strikers.
10.
We have no strikers.
Yeah,
Irfan Yadvad is
exactly.
the
There's like a dearth in
only
quality.
Irfan Yadvad is the only Indian striker like we've got in the ISL pretty much. And if you
And
want
Manveer
again,
Singh.
I think
but
Bryson
and
Fernandez also
Manjeet Singh
scores
doesn't
some
even
goals, but he's
play
also
as a
not a
number nine
striker.
anymore.
Yeah, but he is the number nine. He doesn't play because you for India it's someone else who plays. For Bowen Bagan it's someone else who plays. You look
Yeah,
at him,
that's
he's
the
a proper
point.
striker.
The problem is that at club level he's never playing in the
That
number
is
nine
because
role.
they have Cummins, right? That's the only. That's
That
the
is
thing. Like,
Adi. That's the problem. That's the
but
problem.
the
What
problem is there in club level. But as a national coach, when you can see he's a natural striker, he's
he's
too
not a
slow to play on
natural
the
striker.
wings.
He's a
So he's
naturally
too slow.
no.
He's too slow to play
He's
on the
not
wings.
slow. He's fast. He's
He,
not a he's not a
bro,
striker. He's
he's
not a
fast.
proper number nine. He is way like more comfortable out wide. Like at least like that's what I've seen in the last few years. Whenever he's played for Mohun
Rahul,
Bagan,
that's only because
he
Chetri has
does well out
slowed
wide.
down. He can't dribble. He can't really
No, I'm
hold the
not
ball or
talking
do
about
anything on the
national
wing.
team. I'm talking at club level. Even at club level, he looks way more comfortable playing out wide.
Bro, over time, sure, like that's my point. Over time, you might be comfortable at another position. I remember when he came in, he was a pure striker, and looking at his frame, looking at the way he plays, he is better playing off strike than a winger because you already have winger options. You have guys who are already there playing wingers. Now, if you can't find a solution and say, yeah, bro, Chatri is the only player out there who can play strike, and who knows, can he play at a high level? I really doubt. Like, I'm not sitting and saying, yeah, this guy is scoring out of his world, playing like crazy football, where it's going to be a game changer. And my whole point is, what is the process of moving on from players? Like, why are you still stuck in the past when the player himself then doesn't want to play for the country anymore? He says he want to retire, he
No, that's
retires.
what I'm saying. It's not a Sunil Chetri problem. Like we can't go to okay. Like again, I'm just going through Manveer Singh like because yeah, technically he was your next option. Like he's the next striker in line, right? I'm going through season by season. The last time Manveer Singh played majority of his games as a proper number nine was in the 1920 season, bro. 2019-20, and that time that was when he was playing for FC Goa. He scored 2 goals in the entire 17 games that he played. Of course, he was a lot younger back then. But my point is that, bro, India at club level, there's a real problem, like for strikers. And you again, Irfan Yadwad, who is probably the best striker in the ISL this year, he has scored 23 games in the ISL this year, 3 goals,
He scored 5 goals this season.
3 goals.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
So yeah, it's there's a problem, and like us, it's not a Chetri thing. Like it's just, bro, I don't blame the national team coach for going back to Chetri because Like, what else should he do? Like, I don't know. Like, he has to play Changte as a first. And yeah, I know you're saying like you should probably look for solutions within the squad. But like sometimes when you especially given the season Chetri has had, like as in he scored goals. To be fair, like again, like having watched every game of Chetri's this season, he has looked threatening. Especially in the air, he's looked very good. And you know, these are AFC Asian Cup qualifiers where he will get chances. This is not like some. This is not the Asian Cup where India are going to have to play their like play out of their skins to get points or whatever. He's going to do pretty decently. He's going to get chances. And in this environment, I don't mind it. But the issue that I have is how long? Like what are we saying? Like that's the problem. Like Ali said, well, okay, imagine he does push you through to the Asian Cup and he helps you qualify. Then what? Then who plays there? Rishi, like what is the issue, bro? What's the solution to like at a very like club level? Like um
Bro,
what
I mean,
what can we do?
see, it's easy to say that okay, clubs have to start playing more Indians up front, or that's a very, I think, very basic answer, because yeah, at the end of the day the clubs are looking out for themselves. Like, why should they,
Yeah,
if
that's the point.
if
That's
they
the
have an
problem.
alternative,
Exactly.
like if they have a proven goal scorer who's from Morocco, who's from Spain, why would they not play that forward, or given that option, why would they not do that and sacrifice themselves? Like, we're not talking about mere 1 or 2 goals. Like, we're talking, like, say, probably someone who's going to score like 15, 16 goals compared to an Indian striker who's going to score probably 5, 6 at best. So that's a huge, that makes up probably 5, 6 spots in the table. That's a lot of goals. So why
But
should, like, if you're asking the teams, why should they sacrifice their position? Okay, like in the long term, okay, you can invest now, you're going to perform poorly, and then maybe 2, 3 years down the lane you might have a good striker. But are all teams doing that? Like, is it sustainable, like compared, like given how the league is going, how already we're like the teams are hemorrhaging cash, how they need immediate results for, so it's not like you can entirely blame the clubs for not reaching out for solutions. Like, if simply if the quality is not there, they can't sacrifice their, like, position in the league or their scoring chances just for India's betterment. No, like, of course,
Yeah, yeah,
ideally it would be great if they do that, if they take that initiative, but you can't hold them accountable for not doing that either.
yeah, yeah,
It's a
absolutely.
difficult
It
spot.
won't happen. So then, what is the
Yeah.
solution? Like, do we have to go like what Adi said? Like, you have to find solutions in the squad. Like, there's no other option.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, that's what has happened. Like, I think a lot of teams have had issues like that. Like, I don't, it's not like only an India problem. Like, there have been situations where teams have not had clinical strikers. They've had to make do with false nines or a midfielder playing up or whatever. Like, it's not something that is, like, very concerning or very exclusive. This is the first time that's happening. It's unprecedented. So yeah, like, of course, like compared to the other teams, like European teams or South American teams, of course there is a dearth in quality. But when we are playing amongst our neighbors, when we are playing in our, say, Bangladesh, or say somebody like a Thailand, Myanmar, it's not that we're going to face an uphill task. Like, the
Yeah,
playing field is pretty much leveled. So these are situations where you can find solutions within the squad. You can play a false nine, you can play someone like a Manveer Singh, who's not exactly a winger, who's not exactly a forward, but he has the frame. Like Adi said, he has the frame who to hold up, to do a job. So that's where the coach also has to, like, go hands on and be like, okay, like, this is the situation. We have to find a way out. Like, yeah, like, if we do go through, and then what? Like, it's Sunil Chhetri is what, pushing 41. He's 40, so he's not going to stick around forever. Like, so how long before we have to actually start looking at the other option? So you might as well start preparing now. Like, okay, like, for
yeah,
now, okay, he's back, but we have to start preparing now. Like, we should have started preparing a couple of years ago, and our next striker should have ideally taken, like, the baton must have passed on by now. But okay, better late than never. So you have to start now.
yeah. Vijay is saying, to be honest, at this point, I don't have any hope for this team. I just think if he was there in that Qatar match, we could have qualified. I mean, dude, like it doesn't matter. I feel like at the end of the day, yeah, you would have qualified for round three. But even then, you would have lost games like in round three, like probably ended up last or something. But I mean, this problem would have still persisted. I would like You think for me in this Igor Stimac era, at least we're seeing results. I mean, I can't remember three consecutive tournaments uh, win in Indian football before Igor. I mean, we still didn't make it to round three. I guess like I don't know like where you guys stand about Igor Stimac or whatever. Like for me, I was
No, Igor Stimac came recently and spoke now about the entire Indian football system, how they've run and
He
what they are
went on
doing.
a rampage,
So, and
bro.
I
I
mean,
think
bro,
it's true.
that
I
is
don't think it's out
honestly
of
he's
bad
done it
blood.
even while he was at in the job. Like I mean, bro, that was always coming. Like, bro, like that so
No,
many people have spoken. But
no, bro, that's the point. Like, bro, you look at any countries, for example, like if you want me to give you an example of Spain example, at a point of time they were never really good at football. Go back to history, they weren't. And now, like you look at them as a country, they never have a lack of midfielders. Like, for example, they always cultivate midfielders every time. Like every generation since recently, they've always had midfielders who come out of the academies, out of the country, whatever it is. Whole point is Spain as an entire nation has a certain philosophy to play football, and that's the reason they've been able to get certain players, especially midfield. And over the years, they've had the best midfielders to an extent. Same thing at Italy. Like you look at Italy historically, they were a country that always expected certain philosophy of defending, and they always had one of the best defense, best defenders, etc. I mean England also to an extent. Before they were always very fast paced, counter-attacking country. And you look at the players at that point of time, their attackers were very counter-attacking. Like look at the old footballing of England, their attackers were very direct and counter-attacking, and that's there for every country. And with India, if we come and say, there is a striking issue, we don't have any strikers, it's not because it's not a talent, it's because the entire country doesn't have a proper identity in football. There is no style in football. Now, if I sit and ask you what is the style of India or what they want to try, there is nothing. Like from the national team, from
bro,
each
that
club,
is a very culture problem. Like in the sense that, bro,
it
like
is,
you
it
can't.
is
I
no,
can't
no, no.
sit
It's
in.
just not a culture problem. It's bro. India as a country, you need to develop certain styles like of playing football that is started from your federation, that is instilled in the grassroots. Now you look at England recently, when they got a new director of football, I forgot his name. They started this entire program in 2017 or 2016 during recently. And it was at the time when Pep Guardiola went to England, and you look at the way they rebooted their youth system. They instilled a certain style of football. They encouraged the coaches who come, right, like they have their own FA who coaches come and try to learn. They instill a certain mentality in those coaches. We want to play more progressive football, more football in terms of possession based. Now you look at each of England's youth academy systems. They've all learned how to play out from the back, keep the ball, play more possession compared to what they were before, which was very direct. Like England before were more direct attack, whatever it was. They understood that they need to put a philosophy, identity into the team, and they put it in the youth system, and that has been there. You look at Premier League now; it is not at all the same as it was 5 years ago. Look at the coaches in the Premier League now; it's not at all the same. Like you look at Premier League as a whole, they have certain philosophy. You look at Germany, bro. They've always had a pressing philosophy as a nation. Even in the league, both of them have the philosophy matching. If you look at that, Spanish also, their league and their nation's philosophy of playing football and matches. Now, I'm not sitting and saying you have to have a perfect philosophy. The point is you have to start somewhere. What is the philosophy? Look at each identity of a team. They don't have an identity. Like each team that plays in ISL today, they don't have an identity. They all play for results. They all play for whatever we can do now. That's it. They don't have a long term vision, and that's what comes from your federations. And I'm not going to sit and say ISL teams need to do it, but when a federation says this is how we want to coach, from the young coaches who want to get into the badgers, learn coaching, etc., you put in a system. You put in that system there to the coaches where you're like, in India we want to play this kind of football, we want to play whatever it is. I'm not sitting and saying this is the needs to be the style. Whatever you think is right, whatever you think India can develop in, try to put in that system in the coaches, try to put that in the grassroots level. And over time it progresses. It's not going to be an overnight thing, but maybe in 10 years you have a certain philosophy. Maybe in 10 years we won't be sitting and saying we have a striking issue, because that time you have more attacking players who play attackers. Right now I don't think, even in the young grassroots levels, there are attackers who play attackers. There are strikers who play strikers. I've seen certain youth matches. I've seen. I don't want to say they're not. They don't look like strikers. I've seen like wingers playing strikers because they're just fast. Like I've seen that happen in a lot of youth matches, just local matches, whatever it is. Where in Bangalore it's BDF Super Division, you see that there a lot of kids are they're kids. They're fast wingers who might have turned into striker. Even me in my youth level, the fastest guy used to play striker was never a guy who was a tall guy who would be there, try to learn to play the striking position. It was generally always, the fastest player, you just play strike, will put the ball behind, you try to go score. It has always been like that. And over time, you'll never find strikers because the philosophy in youth academy itself is like, you need to play football a certain way. Best way in India they can play is just hoop it up. Someone's going to chase the ball, try to play 1v1, 2v1 against the defense and score. And that's literally been the style of every team. And that's why you don't find strikers, you don't find attacking players, in my opinion. Like you barely find any good attacking players. And also the Indian system doesn't really promote, kids going out and playing football outside India. The players right now, they don't encourage them to go play outside India. So you're never going to grow. Like you're never going to grow if that's going to happen forever.
Mm. Okay. We'll just wrap it up with this, Rishi. How long, bro? How long are we seeing Sunil Chhetri play? Now that he's 40 already. How much longer are you seeing him?
I mean, the way he's been playing for BFC this season, yeah, like the legs might not show it, but yeah, if whether it comes to physicality, whether it comes to winning balls in the air, he's doing more than enough. Like I was actually surprised to see the way he was playing. So from that perspective, I wouldn't be surprised if he was on top of his game for another year. But
His
is
club
that what
contract
we
is up
think?
this year, by the way.
Yeah, again, so but like yeah, like from what I'm seeing him on on the field, like he's doing whatever is asked. Like it's not about him taking the ball and running at defenders. So what he's supposed to do, he's doing well. And for India also, it won't be that different. In India, it's not like he's going to come short, take the ball, dribble past people, and try create chances. It'll be pretty much lumping balls in the box, like either poach or win the first balls or just try and nick a goal in. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he stuck around for maybe 6-7 months. Like yeah, I don't see what's like, we don't have a better alternative. So till we have a better alternative, or till we see signs that okay, this is sustainable, this is okay, like it wouldn't like I wouldn't be surprised if he stuck around for that long. But the process should be underway. Like I said again, like the process should already be underway, that we try and find a long term solution. Because yeah, it won't take long for, like, I hope it doesn't, but it won't take long given his age for him to go down that, that peak. Like from his peak to come down, it's not going to take that long. So we can't keep banking on that. So yeah, the sooner the better that we find an alternative.
No, but
Yeah.
we do have alternatives. It's not like we don't.
Not
Like,
not as
Yeah,
a not as a pure number nine.
but
I don't
bro,
think.
like,
even as
see
a pure
people.
number nine, I don't think Chetri is a pure number nine.
He
It's
just
just
kept
because
me.
of his age
No,
factor,
at
has
least
become that
at least
player.
for the national team, he is. Like I really think he's
No,
even for
dude, that's the thing.
BSC.
Is
He's a basically a second striker. Like as in
even with BFC, he's played strike, but the point is he was
yeah.
never a striker. And you look at that, even
No, that is
what
over
like,
years. But over time, like in the last 5 6 years, he is a striker. Like he's
He
become
has
a
pretty much
proper
become
number nine.
the
yeah,
ball
that is
winner.
because of his age, bro. That's my point. Like Ronaldo was never a striker before. Like he became a striker over time
But
because
True,
you're
but
same thing. Like
he's eventually he was molded into a forward. So both of them, like, ultimately they have become forwards. No.
no, but my point is like you look at India right now, they don't have a striker. You take out Chetri also, he's not technically a striker. That's my point. My point is you have to find a solution for Chetri to put him in the team, let him play. Whatever the fact is, him not being, mobile enough, whatever it is. And that's the point. Bro, even right now, like you look at guys like Jerry, they don't get a chance in the national team. Why? They're still playing good. Like I think he's one of the better forwards for India, playing good in the ISL, and he's still not got a chance to play this year. I still don't get it. Like you have options out there where you can try. The fact is you have to try. Like you've never given other kids a chance, other Indians a chance. You'll never know. And this thing with Jerry and etc. has been questioned a lot for a long time. It's not something new. I think what we have another couple of guys who can play, bro. Like you have attackers who are playing for East Bengal, if I'm not wrong. their options are there. You have to try cultivate them as talents and push them forward. Like, how can you platform these kids? When will you platform these kids? How can you platform these kids? It's international breaks the only time you get like 2 games, 3 games every 3 months. Now, if you get a chance now, why are you saying no? I'll go back to Chetri when he's retired. It just doesn't make sense. It's not like with or without Chetri, the entire team is going to be black and white. Like, I don't agree with that. I think with Chetri or without Chetri, the team has similar balance. Like, it's not going to change day and night because of Chetri. Like, that's my opinion. And I
Do you
think,
think that like that goal threat diminishes? I feel like the goal threat significantly comes down when
bro,
Chetri
but
plays.
Rishi,
Like
that
when it just comes
goal
to
threat
being visible in
diminishes
front of
any
goal.
time in life, right? Like, whenever Chetri retires, it's going to happen. Like,
Yeah,
the
that's
whole
true.
point is it is going to happen no matter what. If it's not today, 1 year later, he's going to retire again. It's going to happen. Now, why do you want to push it to 1 year? Like, now, 1 year later, if he's like, I'm just too old, I don't think he's going to play the Asian Games anyways. Now, if he's
Hmm.
like, I'm too old, I can't play, then what's the point of playing him in the qualifiers? Then when we're in the international spotlight, you can't even play anyone there means what was the point of even going to qualifiers? That's the whole thing. Like, you have to find
Hmm.
solution as a national coach. Like, at the end of the day, that's what I say. Like, India doesn't have the pressure to qualify
No,
compared
no,
to
it's
teams like,
Asian Cup. Asian Cup, 100% pleasure is there. It's the one tournament where
bro,
India
I'm
are
telling you,
expected to qualify. Like we are
that's my point.
expected
I
to
think
qualify
for
for the
me, I
Asian Cup.
think you should draw lines. Like, I think if you're like, we've lost a huge player and we don't have striking options as a country, as a federation, I'm not going to sit there and be like, yeah, you have to qualify now. Like, that's the whole point. I don't know if it's the pressure should be
I
there or
think
not because we're
regardless of
not.
Chhetri being there, we should qualify. I mean, bro, if we can't beat Bangladesh, teams of Bangladesh,
We've
no,
not
bro.
beaten Bangladesh with Chetri for a long time. Also,
No,
Rahul.
but
It's not
that's
like.
not the point. But we can definitely beat Bangladesh. Like there's
But
no
the point is,
doubt
it's
about
bro.
it.
History's proven we've not been able to beat Bangladesh. Recently, also when we played, we drew them,
Yeah,
and that
that's
time also
okay. But
Chetri
still,
played.
we should have won. Like
We were not able to beat Mauritius recently. Like, bro, are
See,
you
this is
getting like,
again like that. This is again like all that similar to that England conversation where England has always had good players. We should like they should be beating teams, but at the end of the day, if you're not able to beat, you're not able to beat. Like you can't
bro?
just
But
say
the
like,
point is, you are platforming India as a good team without them being a good team.
yeah,
You're not even
that's
top.
exactly that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like what's the
yeah,
point of
Exactly.
saying like, okay, like we should be beating them? Yeah, we should be, but if we're not as good as we
yeah.
think we are.
But like bro, see these games. I genuinely think India will go through. Like regardless, it's Singapore, Hong Kong, and Bangladesh. Like
Bro, we recently played Hong Kong. We didn't beat them also, right?
I know we played Hong Kong. When I
We did play recently sometime, if I'm not wrong.
Malaysia we played, not Hong Kong. Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
we
a.
played.
But yeah, no.
Whatever. Like, bro, the thing is, for me, we've played teams before. It's not like we've been able to sweep them easily and been like, I remember Bangladesh, even with Chetri, we drew, etc. Mauritius, we drew last time without Chetri, whatever it is. Now, the whole point is India as an entire country, I think we overvalue our players because they play ISL. We overvalue the league because it's like we think it's a big league compared to the real, football that's played around. And that's the thing, bro. Quality of players looks fine, but when you're playing international football, it's about that's where the real quality shows, and it shows that Indian quality of footballers are not there yet. Like,
Hmm.
you go back, like even when we were playing in the Asian Games, Asian Cup, like you could see the difference in quality. It's just because India never got an exposure to playing top teams. Every time we played our this thing also, like international friendlies, it was teams that were not as good as the bigger teams. And these players who play in our league, they don't really get the right exposure in terms of playing high level football, and it shows when you go play international games. It's not. I really don't think Bangladesh, like, it's a big difference compared to ISL, because even the ISL teams, when they play Bangladesh teams or play Myanmar teams or play Bhutan teams in the AFC Cup, they struggle to beat them. Sometimes they don't beat them. Sometimes they lose to them. So it's like even in the ISL, you're not able to really go out and beat them. I mean, AFC Champions League, AFC Cup, you're not able to go beat them with ease. That's gonna show even here. Like Mohun Bagan, when they played, they struggled like in the AFC Cup. It's not like they were playing very good. Like, that's the whole point. Like, we overvalue Indian football too much to the extent that, oh, we think we're very good at football, but in reality, like, bro, we'll watch Premier League every day. We watch a lot of football every time, and you try to compare that with ISL. It's not at all. It's not even close to being like played football in the right way.
Yeah, I'll just wrap it up with that. Sunil Chhetri back, hopefully to help India qualify for the AFC Asian Cup 2027. Just 2 years away, actually. It just feels so weird because it just feels like it got over now. But anyways, that's that. Thanks everyone for watching. Please like and share the video, subscribe to Sports Company. We'll see you soon. Bye bye.